Welcome to Access Chargers presented by Toyota. I'm your host, Haley Elwood. In this week's show, our radio team answers all of your questions in Ask the Booth. Then, we learn to make one of Tender Grain's most popular dishes, and later, Chargers head coach Coach Lynn previews the regular season finale against the Oakland Raiders. But we kick things off with Nick Hardwick as he breaks down footage from the Bolts' win over the Jets in X's and O's.
Rivers, rifles, touchdown, Antonio Gates.
In the Week 16 matchup against the New York Jets, all eyes were going to be on Antonio Gates. How were the Chargers going to regroup with the loss of Hunter Henry the week before with the lacerated kidney? Antonio Gates, 15 years in the National Football League. That experience paid off. You got Burris on Tyrell Williams on the outside. You got Jamal Adams on Antonio Gates on the inside. You've got Darren Lee on Melvin Gordon, who's going to be hitting the angle to the pylon. So now it's an indicator of what is Demario Davis going to do. Is he going to come vertically with Antonio Gates on the post? And is he going to help Jamal Adams out? Or is he going to sit on Tyrell Williams on the underneath route? Phillip Rivers has to read it. Tyrell Williams has to read Demario Davis on the inside. Let this one play out a little bit. Tyrell Williams draws the double team. Demario Davis coming from the far side of the formation to sit right in the hole to stop the underneath route. So that leaves Phillip Rivers on Antonio Gates on the post route, and he drops a dime. Let's take a look at another angle. So there's Jamal Adams, inside leverage on Antonio Gates, square stance, man-to-man. Darren Lee's going to take Melvin Gordon in the backfield. You can see him running with him to the flat. Then you've got Demario Davis coming to wall the underneath route, which leaves Antonio Gates working on Jamal Adams. Let's highlight this real quick. Antonio Gates, one subtle move, a shake, hand swat on Jamal Adams, who doesn't get a good jam on him at the line of scrimmage, creates just enough room for a beautiful ball by Phillip Rivers. Strong hands, Antonio Gates, 15 years, that's grown man on ya.
Using his large frame to keep the rookie Adams away from the ball, and Rivers again with a perfect ball placement for the score.
Each year, all 32 NFL teams nominate a player for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, which recognizes excellence on and off the field. This season, Casey Hayward is the Chargers nominee for his continued generosity helping run his family's foundation, Hayward's Hands. But now, hear from Hayward himself on the importance of giving back and what the nomination means to him.
This award is not just my award, it's my family award. It started with my mom. She used to help everybody. It didn't matter, it just came from the heart. Where I'm from, people would call it the country. Everybody kind of know each other. I want to show an example to other people. Why not give back? The past 4 years, we've been doing a Thanksgiving, turkey drive, because everybody's not fortunate to go out there and be able to have turkey. Even if you are, we invite as many people as we can to come out. We just wanted to extend it out to everybody, from the Hayward's family to everybody. I think we might have gave away 200 backpacks this past year. But the less hassle that we have on people's parents, maybe they can go out there and get more shoes for somebody and different things like that. If you got the means to help, or not even just the means, the will to help, go out and help people. That's our motto, is let's help as many people as we can. The Thanksgiving dinner is getting bigger. The Christmas drive is getting bigger. So just to see the same amount of people we touching each and every year, I think she'll be really proud. This thing started with her. To be recognized, especially from our team and just people around, it just validates the things you're doing. It's bigger than football, that you can do a lot of things on and off the field. And I'm gonna continue to do that no matter if I'm playing football or not.
When we return on Access Chargers, Casey Hayward isn't the only Bolt giving back as we take a look at Corey Legit giving 25 kids a holiday to remember. And then we ask the booth with our radio team of Matt Money Smith and Nick Hardwick. Stay tuned.
Points to Demario Davis. Takes the snap. Looking to the right. Throwing middle of the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Rivers to Gates for the second consecutive week. Phillip Rivers finds his old friend for the 86th time in their careers.
So no Hunter Henry, what do? You go to the old man Antonio Gates, 15 years in this league, working one-on-one against a rookie, Jamal Adams.
After starting the season 0-4, the Chargers have won 5 of their last 6 and have one final chance this Sunday to keep their postseason hopes alive with a win over the Oakland Raiders. Here's our radio team discussing the Bolts' playoff scenarios, how the offense can continue to rely on Antonio Gates, and more.
Welcome to what we hope is not the final installment of Ask the Booth. You can ask the booth, Matt Money Smith, Nick Hardwick, questions about the upcoming game, and we would love for that to spill into the postseason, but a lot riding on this Week 17 matchup, the 16th and final game of the regular season against the Raiders, Nick. So for those of you that submitted questions through Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, or Twitter, thank you, and we'll get to them. Here's a handful. Riley asks, what's the biggest thing the team needs to focus on against the Raiders?
Division rival, Raiders, Chargers. It's Raiders week, so if you're new to this rivalry, welcome to Raider week.
It's a big deal.
The thing to me, it's a huge deal. The thing to me it comes down to is taking care of the football and special teams.
So I'll just chime in and say, what do they need to focus on? The game. You know, we've got 3 games being played at the exact same time with scores being updated. You don't want players not paying attention to what they have to do, which is win the game. Every one of these games is of consequence because the early games will be at the exact same time. What are the Chargers' playoff scenarios? All right, win. That's number 1.
Win.
They can't lose. If they lose, they're out. So win is step number 1. Step 2 is Tennessee has to lose. If they win, it's over.
Yes.
Because you already have the Ravens with 9 wins. So regardless of what Baltimore does, if Buffalo gets a win, you need the Ravens to win. So that's pretty much your scenario. From Daniel, can we count on Antonio Gates to continue this high-level play in Hunter's absence?
I think so, and you have to. That's exactly what Antonio has to do, and I think kind of conveniently and a little bit of lucking into this with the increased play of Hunter Henry and Antonio Gates finding more time standing on the sidelines through the middle of the season, Antonio's well rested. And he looked youthful last week against the Jets. So
probably the best he's looked all season.
Yes.
In terms of the way his breaks were, his movement. I mean, he looked
the thing that
good.
impressed me the most was the cold weather in New York, and he was still moving really well.
And fighting through contact. I mean, that touchdown, he had to fight through a lot of contact to get that as well. And also, hey, Sean McGrath. 4 targets, 4 receptions, and a big one last week for 23 yards.
Sean McGrath in 2013 with Kansas City had 23 receptions.
Lean on him.
He's an athlete. He can make plays.
And an artist.
Yes, and a good one.
Right. Finally, the Bolts' kicking game has to be a concern, comma, yes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, it does. Talked about it right off the top. The blunders in the special teams game will hold you back in a game. A division rivalry like the Oakland Raiders. You cannot have the mishaps. You can't set your team back with holding penalties, 2 unsportsmanlike conducts in that contest, which make your offense start back inside the 10-yard line. You've got to have good field position, and you got to make your field goals.
And you hope whatever it was that ailed him on that 47-yarder is now out of his system.
It's mechanical. It's totally mechanical. Get it straightened out. It's just like your golf swing. If you leave your hips open, the ball goes that way.
What are you saying about my golf swing?
I don't know about your golf swing.
Whatever with this guy.
I'm just assuming he's got a snap hook.
I got maybe a month until the offseason. They'll be planting seeds in my head about how bad my golf swing
I'm in
is.
your
I don't
head.
need that.
If I'm in your head, your golf game's weak.
Listen, my kitchen is this big when it comes to golf. You can get in my head so easy. A big thank you to all of you that submitted questions, and hopefully we'll keep it going in the postseason. You do it through the Chargers Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter feeds, and we're happy to get to it every single week.
Tender Greens feeds the team daily with meals catered to helping athletes reach their optimal potential. Now's your chance to eat like a Charger as we make one of the players' favorite dishes. I'm here at Tender Greens, the official chef of the Los Angeles Chargers, joined by executive chef Tara Johnson, who is here to make some of the Bolts players' favorite dishes. This one is a favorite of Brandon Mebane. It is the grilled salmon plate with seasonal vegetables. So Chef Tara, walk us through what's on this plate.
Sure, so we have a Scarborough Farms arugula salad, our seasonal vegetables for the fall, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, yams, and butternut squash, and Wester Ross salmon.
So what makes the salmon so special?
So the Wester Ross Scottish salmon is global GAP certified, which is the highest form of farmed fish.
How do you make it?
So it's just seasoned with light oil, salt and pepper, and we grill it to medium.
So if someone was to order this in maybe the spring, summer, winter, another season, what kind of vegetables could they expect on this plate?
Sure, you've got green beans and corn and summer squash, you know. It's just, we're lucky enough to be in California where there's just so many things available to us.
Absolutely. And then how do you make the vegetables?
So we like to keep it somewhat simple, but just put our little flair on it. Maybe like the sweet potatoes have some fresh sage, maple syrup, some orange zest, orange juice, a little bit of herbs and spices.
Sounds really good. And of course the crostini.
And the crostini. Always the crostini.
Always. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up next, Nick Hardwick goes goal line to goal line with Joe Barksdale. And stay tuned for our final segment where you'll hear Chargers head coach Anthony Lynn on the rematch with the Raiders. Corey Liuget may be a big body on the Bolts defensive line, but he has an even bigger heart. To commemorate the season of giving, Liuget hosted his second annual Shop with a Charger event for 25 lucky kids and teens. Check out Liuget giving back to the community and discussing why hosting this event was so important to him.
Corey! Corey! Corey!
It's the season of giving, and for Corey Liuget, he put that message into action on Tuesday. Liuget hosted his annual Shop with a Charger event where he gave 25 youth from the American Heart Association a shopping spree and a night full of holiday fun.
For me, it means a lot. You know, I was an inner city kid at one point, and also I come from a background in a family that we had things, but we didn't have much, and you know, I want to definitely always make sure every kid is able to enjoy the holidays and have something.
And I'm ready to have some fun. You guys ready?
They loved getting to feel special for a day and kind of forget about everything else and just run through the store with professional football players, with an incredible group of individuals who volunteered to be here. Corey, who inspires all the kids.
Then I got to high school and I took football serious. You get around people, you become more social. You know, you get in with, you know, the people that's chasing something and want better for themselves, just like you do.
He's an amazing guy. He has a great heart. He's always willing to give, and that's the type of person that you'll want on a team and you'll want to be friends with. You know, because sometimes some families go through rough times and they can't quite afford to have the Christmas that they want. So I'm here just making sure that I can help someone, if I can reach anyone, just one kid today, you know, to open up their hearts and, you know, make them feel good about themselves.
You may know Joe Barksdale as the Chargers' starting right tackle, but did you know he's also a premier guitarist? Get to know more about Barksdale as he goes goal line to goal line.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
Merry Christmas to you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Let's start with this. What'd you get Brianna for Christmas?
I got her a nice bag and a couple pair of shoes.
And what did you receive?
An ultrasound picture. So she's pregnant.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you.
All right, that's a heck of a gift. Fantastic.
And an acoustic, oh, she bought me an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar.
You've gotten really into this guitar now.
Yeah.
What's it do for you mentally? What's it do?
Honestly, for me, it's a form of meditation. I can't meditate in silence, so for me, mindfulness is, you know, going over scales, going through chords, playing songs, that kind of thing. So.
And it lets you get your creativity out? Do you have a lot of creativity, or is it more kind of mathematical?
A lot of creativity. I mean,
yeah?
I think at the end of the day, well, I don't know if you know this, you know, I got an album coming out in January, 9 originals.
Where can we find it?
Out of 13 songs. I'm gonna, so, you know, Google Play, iTunes, all that.
It's a handoff to Gordon, looking to get that right corner, uses a stiff arm 5 and steps into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers!
Now, what's showing up on film with Melvin Gordon? Because these last couple weeks, I'm seeing a different running back. He is popping on tape.
That's confidence, man. You know, people always talk about the games, you know, 30% physical, 70% mental. And, I mean, you know, what you see is a guy that's having fun and a guy that believes he can do it. And I think those two things have made all the difference for him.
Now, daily in practice, through the off-season, mini camps, OTAs, training camp, you get a battle against Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa. That's a heck of a duo now. Is there anybody in the National Football League who presents that kind of challenge that those two do?
I mean, come think of this division is just full of that. You know?
Right.
You know, we're up there with the rest of the AFC West teams, if not the best when it comes to, you know, those two cats. I mean, it was a long camp.
Tyrod, and he is sacked. Ball is out, scooped up by Melvin Ingram. 30, 25, 20, 10. Touchdown Chargers. Scoop and score. Melvin Ingram, 39 yards. Strip from who else? Joey Bosa.
What do they all have in common? What kind of similar characteristics do those pass rushers have?
You know what? They're all technicians.
Yes.
You know, I mean, Von, Khalil, Joey, Justin, they're all technicians. You know, they're guys that you look at on film, and it's not like, you know, you see some guys in the league that have athletic ability. You see some guys in the league that have technique. Those guys have both, and they work at it, and they get better every week, and I think that's what presents the challenge.
Dean left all kinds of time, going deep, and that ball, oh, it tips off of Trevor Williams into the hands of Kyle Emanuel. It's intercepted. Emanuel still on his feet inside the 30, and now it's the selfie party in the end zone.
Get the photo booth out. Joe, every season has its ebbs and flows, and you guys started out really slow, 0-4, and now you still got a shot at a playoff spot here.
Right.
What have you learned about your team through this time?
I learned that I wouldn't rather go through it with any other group of guys. You know, throughout the good times and the bad times, you learn who guys are individually, you learn who we are as a team. At the end of the day, all you have is, you know, the guys in this building. And we really bought into that, and I think you can, you know, you see that as the season continues to progress. Guys are starting to have more fun. People are playing looser. You know, there's a lot more celebrating than there was last year, just around the board. I mean,
right.
The defensive guys taking the pictures in the end zone is like the coolest thing ever.
Isn't that hilarious?
It's hilarious. I mean,
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, guys are, you know, coming to work, but they're still having fun. And I think, like I said, I think it was just a wake-up call to everybody else. At the end of the day, we just got to rely on each other.
And it just brings you closer together.
Mm-hmm.
I love that perspective. Joe Barksdale, best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, man.
That's goal line to goal line.
Stay tuned as Chargers head coach Anthony Lynn previews the New Year's Eve match against the Oakland Raiders.
We need to go out and get a win. All the playoff scenarios really doesn't matter if we don't take care of our business.
So, you know, we have a chance now. Again, we don't know what happens. We got to take care of our business, but a chance now to, you know, do something that's only been done one other time. You know, get into the postseason after 0-4 start.
There's a lot of good character on this team. A lot of great guys and great leadership, and we're looking forward to finishing this season off strong.
So we got to go out there and get a victory. That's the only scenario we know is win, and everything else will take care of itself.
Welcome back to Access Chargers, presented by Toyota. Coach, all right, here we are in week 17, and your playoff hopes are still alive. But after the game, you said the win wasn't very pretty. So now that you've had a chance to go back and look at the film, what stood out to you?
Well, anytime you give up an onside kick on special teams, you give up 200 yards rushing on defense, and you go 33% on offense on third downs. Normally on the road, you don't win those games, but to me, it's, you know, it's I guess plus and minuses there, because good teams can win that way every now and then, but bad teams, you know, hardly ever win those games. And we figured out a way to win. Our guys grounded it out, and they won the game. So that's all that mattered at the end.
So besides the win, one huge positive in the game was the play of Antonio Gates. Have you run out of ways to be impressed by him?
No, I mean, Antonio's a future Hall of Famer for a reason. And it never was a concern, really, that Hunter wasn't there and Antonio was going to be the primary target. Antonio did what Antonio always does. He make plays.
All right, so moving ahead to week 17, you guys take on the Raiders. Same scenario as last week. You need to win. You need some help again. But how do you plan on keeping your team focused on the task at hand?
You know, we talked about that a little while ago, is that we can only control what's in front of us. And if we don't take care of the Raiders, nothing else really matters. So I just want the guys to be at their best and focus on that every single day, just being at your best. And we know our biggest competition is against ourselves. And so if we can compete against ourselves and be a better person each and every day, then we feel like we'll be at our best on game day.
Speaking to the Raiders, they're a very tough opponent, and I know, and you probably know, that they would love nothing more than to end the Chargers' playoff aspirations on Sunday. What are you expecting out of them?
I'm expecting their best shot. I mean, I've been in their shoes before. A few years ago, Miami Dolphins were in our situation, and we were in the Raiders' shoes, and we took a lot of pleasure in going to Miami and beating them and knocking them out. So I know what their mentality is going to be, and so you know, we just got to get ready for it.
And then lastly, given everything this team has been through this season, what would it mean to you and to the organization to be playoff bound on Sunday?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, that's our day one goal, is to get to the tournament. You know, you can't win the Lombardi Trophy if you don't get to the tournament. And so that's been our goal since OTAs, and something we've worked hard for, and I hope it works out.
All right. Well, we do too. Best of luck, and I hope we're sitting here next week talking about the Jags.
That would be nice.
Yes. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Hayden.
Thanks for watching Access Chargers presented by Toyota. A big thank you to Chargers head coach Anthony Lynn, our radio team of Matt Money Smith and Nick Hardwick, Casey Hayward, and lastly, Joe Barksdale. If you missed any part of this week's show, be sure to check out Chargers.com for all of our exclusive content. I'm your host, Haley Elwood. See you next week.